Diagnoses like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and bipolar depression have been part of my family's story for years. Then things began to shift. I started to experience intense warfare that specifically targeted my mental health, the very same ways that I had seen it manifest in my family. Let's get better. Let's get. Hello and welcome to Let's Get Better with Strickling Jr, a space where we explore mental health, spirituality, and self-discovery, especially within the African American communities. I'm your host, Edward, and I am so thrilled to have you here. Now, before we dive into the amazing conversations and stories ahead, I wanted to take a moment and introduce myself, share a little bit about my journey, why I started this podcast, and what Let's Get Better is all about. So let's rewind for a second. I hail from the east side of Indianapolis, Indiana, a place that will always feel like home to me. From stomping around my parents' house at the age of 2 over there on 34th and Arthington, singing If I Ain't Got You by Alicia Keys, very dramatic, very good, to performing in front of my first ever live audience at 3 years old at the Caring Place on the east side, singing Open Up My Heart by Yolanda Adams. I have always enjoyed the creative outlet that is singing, and really I started to discover the power of creativity and self-expression. That love for the arts only grew as I got older. So in high school, I found myself deeply immersed in theater, advanced choir, voice lessons with Rosemary Bigby, and so much more at Broad Ripple Magnet High School. Those were the formidable years for me. It gave me a solid foundation, not just in my craft, but in understanding how storytelling can connect, heal, and inspire us. But storytelling wasn't just about the stage for me. It became a way of processing life, exploring those big questions that we all wrestle with. This eventually led me to screenwriting, where I would combine my love for character, dialogue, and connection. One of my proudest projects is Rise the series, which we're actually filming right here in Indianapolis. It's a coming of 20s story that touches on identity, loss, family, and faith, themes that really hit close to home for me. My journey hasn't been all about the page or the screen though. In 2021, I took a leap into professional acting, performing in 7 equity shows across the Midwest and East Coast. Whether I'm on stage or in front of a camera, I've learned that the heart of my work is always going to be connection. It's always going to be authenticity and how we relate to one another and most importantly to ourselves. And then back to the music. Boy, from performing live with bands at local lounges to just singing for the joy of it, music has been a constant companion for me. The love that we once had. A way to speak when words feel too small, a way to let melody color when colors just aren't enough. But as much as I love the arts, I've always felt a deep pull towards something bigger, creating spaces where we can grow and heal through honest conversations. That's where Let's Get Better comes in. This podcast is my way of combining my passions for storytelling, creativity, and connection with my desire to make a real impact. I want this to be a space where we can talk about the tough stuff and the things that may otherwise get swept under the rug as it concerns mental health, addiction, spirituality, and the intricacies, very good, of our faith walks and self-discovery. I want to do all of that with so much humor, vulnerability, and most of all, love. For me, these conversations aren't just theoretical. They're deeply personal. Mental health has always been close to my heart, not just because of the struggles that I've experienced, but because of the impact I've seen it have on my family. Diagnoses like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and bipolar depression have been part of my family's story for years. Watching these illnesses at times go untreated, seeing the toll that it takes on my loved ones, and understanding the side effects of some medications made me realize how important it is to openly talk about our mental health and the challenges that we face with it. And faith has been a huge part of my personal journey. I came to know Christ for myself at the age of 19. So for a long time, I had heard the voice of God, but I thought it may have just been my own thoughts, what the world might call a conscience or inner voice. That's what I began to identify as the Holy Spirit. Then things began to shift. So once I chose Jesus for myself, I started to experience intense warfare that specifically targeted my mental health, the very same ways that I had seen it manifest in my family. I began to question if I was next in line to inherit some of those struggles, and I wondered if medication may be the solution for me. I realized that whenever I would fast and pray, the attacks would increase. But when I would stray or, cater to my flesh, backslide or what have you, then the warfare would cease. So I noticed that pattern and it made me question what was happening in the spirit realm. After beginning to discern the voice of the Lord for myself and, what was the enemy trying to distract, trick, or trap me, I began to understand the call that God had on my life, the authority that I walk in as a believer, and even with prophecies and confirmation about what God has said as it concerns me, it was a turning point because I began to understand that my experiences were part of a much larger purpose that was so much bigger than me. So maybe you identify with that. Maybe that's you that is anointed and called, but stuck somewhere in the middle trying to figure out what this is all about, trying to figure out exactly who it is that you are and what you're called to do. I want Let's Get Better to be your new safe space for all things healing, growing, learning, and unlearning whatever it is you need to so that you can have God's best for your life. So what can you expect from Let's Get Better? You can expect raw, heartfelt conversations with amazing guests like therapists, artists, spiritual leaders, and everyday people who are walking their own journeys of growth and self-discovery. You can expect laughter, because one thing I'm gonna do is laugh. Healing don't gotta be heavy all the time. And you can expect practical insights to help you show up more fully in your own life. Whether you're here to learn, laugh, or just to feel seen, I want you to know that you're in the right place, that we're in this together. I'm about to be cheesy for a second, so let's get better together. Very good. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and connect with me on all social media platforms at Let's Get Better and at Strickling Jr. Until next time, keep growing and be kind to yourself. I love you so much. Let's get